1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. All right. All right. Good morning, everyone. Okay, this is week 5, is it right? Okay, week 5. Sorry, the week 6 there, right? Okay. All right. Week 6 there, right? Okay. So week 6, basically, okay, what we actually have been go through before, okay, right? In order to develop, basically, okay, based on what we actually have planned for you guys, okay. Even though, right, I'm looking at the project one basically is based on the progress of understanding there. So if you guys have worried about what basically project what is going to be there, okay, I'm doing basically a bit kind of subtle kind of process there because as I told you guys, there's a lot of things that I have to share with you guys, okay, in order to develop the skill of understanding on animation itself there, okay. So that's why I'm looking at whatever that you guys have been produced basically for your previous kind of exercise. I'm going to compile, right, the whole thing into the project one kind of what we call that uh, marking and also evaluation kind of systems there. All right. So that means we have what we call that a few more kind of lessons that we want to experiment, okay, which is that I would say that for this week I'm going to show a bit kind of the process how actually we're going to do some lip syncs there, right? Okay, lip syncs right at the same time, right? And of course, okay, when it comes to develop back again your project kind of works there, right? Okay, we are going to do a little bit kind of improvisations, right? Okay, we want to add on a little bit kind of some experiment that you need to do on your own there, okay, in order to execute uh, the process of working itself there, okay. Those are the things that I will find uh, quite value for you guys to what we call that the experience, okay, within there, right. So for last week we actually have been I already shared with you guys also, but some of the challenges that I actually get from the demonstrations, which is I try to animate different kind of walk cycle, okay, from the existing character that I've created for you guys, okay. And but I actually cover them back, okay. If you want to work with the what we call that jump cycles, okay, at the same time, you can actually write what we call that develop that kind of motions, okay, self that just to test your characters whether it works or not, okay, because when it comes to develop the characters kind of motions there. This is three component part or elements that you need to test first there, okay? So without having any kind of hesitation, okay, whether you is doing it right or not, or whether you need to do this kind of work or not, okay, because when it comes to design the characters, right, whatever that we have in mind, basically, okay, every character designers have to think about all these three components first, right? Because without these three components, you won't be able to see whether the character will going to be works based from what you have planned or not, right? Okay. So those are the things that you have to remember, right? Okay, when it comes to designing the characters there. We always have the responsibility to move on or to move out the characters there. Otherwise, the character going to be look a little bit static there, going to be boring there, okay? You won't be able to see the result quite quickly and faster, okay? To give more kind of what we call that guidance to animators later on, if you have animators with you guys in the future. Okay, so hopefully today I can see some of your progress works of your characters because we are going to use these characters until the final, what we call that, the final kind of projects there. All right, so that means if you think that you want to improve a little bit more here and there on your character design, go ahead there, okay? You can actually do it as well, right? So because this is the process of improvements there. Take a look it as a part of the improvements there, right? Because in the real process, basically, when we start to design or develop the characters there, okay, they take several weeks, sometimes there, okay. For the big productions, normally 2 or sometimes a few months there, okay. And in some of the case, like Pixar there, okay, they create uh, what we call that almost a year there, okay, to design one single characters there, to find out the right kind of casting for the characters itself there, right? Because they really study basically the whole process of developing the persona of the character itself there, okay. Because the thing that you guys actually have been watched, okay, been experienced from the final kind of products is basically is the process of the hard work that people have done before the, okay. You can see, you can feel that the characters is quite believable there, right? Believable there, all right, okay. So that's why for me, right, as we actually have planned there, okay, we work with the one single character that you guys chose from the number of the character that you've been designed before, and we start to work with it until the end of the semester there. See what happens from there, right? If you think that you can improve, for example, that let's just say, for example, that you don't like the arms of the characters there, okay, it feel quite difficult for you to animate at this time there. Just change, right? We want to see also the chronology of the changes that you made from the single characters then, because the vision that you made basically will mature basically your way of working later on. It's not right now there, okay. Some people thought, okay, whatever that thing right now we change there, I don't learn anything from there, right? Basically, you will learn, okay. Our brain will digest all these kind of information there, right? In order to develop your kind of improvement, skill improvement, understanding at the same time there. That's why, right, from now on, if you have choose that characters there, work on that first. See what basically we can do from there. You guys can do from there, okay? So those are the things that basically will help that back again for you to develop your understanding there. So if you watch later on back again these videos, right, that I've made there, okay, I'm still using this uh, 5 frame of timesheet kind of rules there. All right. Even though with the hands kind of movements, I play a little bit kind of different kind of motions and arc there, okay. Because of the hand itself, because the physical of the hands is not like a normal kind of person there, okay. Even though I can, if I want to use the normal kind of motions there, okay, to work there, but I just experiment there because for me, what I want to show you guys, okay, from this process is make that mistake there, right? Okay? I want you guys to make that mistake in order to learn also from there, right? So even though you make that kind of motions look kind of worse there, okay? Believe me one thing, right? Okay, leave it there, or maybe you can improve later on, right? Okay, right? Don't delete those kind of mistakes there, right? Okay, just use it there, okay, as a part of the process of learning there, right? So if you cannot find the solutions, then you come back to me there, okay? Simple as that, right? Okay. So those are the things that can be done there, okay? So make sure when you whatever that you guys do, right, from the process, if you think that you make mistakes, don't delete your process there, right? The best thing is try to find some of the solutions that you can seek from any kind of material or resources, or you can actually come back to me there, okay? Just to discuss, okay, what we can do from these kind of characters later on there, right? Okay. So this video basically I can just test this animations there using run cycles. Okay, yesterday I just want to take some of the challenge there. But if you take a look closely there again, I planned the whole motions from legs into the arms there and skew a bit kind of what we call that the body part, okay, to give more kind of momentums on the motions, right? So those are the things that I actually do it in the very basics kind of basis there, right? The only difficult thing that I find from these characters is the physicals there. It's the physicals there, okay? Uh, because they have what we call that a different kind of treatment on the motion itself, right? Okay, so those are the things a little bit difficult, lah. Okay, there has to be we have to study a little bit from here. Okay, but if you actually watch uh, a lot of Adventure Times, there, okay, maybe you can find some of the solutions, lah. Okay, from these kind of characters. Okay, all right. So let's take a look here first. All right. I think 4, 5 of you guys have sent that, right? Okay. Okay, we're still waiting for Wenjun. Yan Fan, do you have the Google Classroom codes? Yan Fan? Right, this is our Google Classroom codes, class code there, right?
Sir, I actually submitted, but I forgot to turn in.
Okay, okay, okay. This is the code, right? Yes. Just send it, right? So we can share, we can see that, okay, whether you, how actually you're going to work on there. Not this one. All right. For today, basically, right, I have one of the files that I want to give you guys here, which is okay, voice of there. Okay. So I'm going to share this kind of files there for you. I don't know whether you guys can hear this. I think you guys can't, okay, but I'm going to share with you guys that later on. Okay, this is Tanya kind of work there, right? Tanya, this is not 3/4, you know. You have to turn over a little bit the eyes there, right? This is front view, right? Front view there, okay?
Okay.
So if you want to, right, you know how to change there, right?
Yeah.
So that main, right, okay, let's just, this is your characters here, right? Okay, this is a front view there, right? If you actually have group each part, change that. This is the 3/4 view. Okay, for this character, it's quite easy lah, right? Squash a little bit, right, to make it a little bit more easy for you to work with the motions. Right. This is one of it. So if you want to work with the model turnaround, animated turnaround there for your characters, for example, like this one there, right? This they're going to be a little bit more like this, right? A simple kind of model turnaround there. This one can be flips. This one also can be flipped there. All right. So let the model turn around, like a simple kind of model turn around there. We haven't done this kind of exercise, right? For your characters, you just animate them, right? But you actually have done some of the model sheet for your characters, is it? So just prepare, right? I might going to be put it into our brief there, right? For this week. This week, we are going to have, all right, these two different kind of exercise for Friday. So I'm going to show you guys today. One of it, basically this one, right? I'm going to put it in our brief there, right? I'm going to set it up. The model turnarounds kind of motions here, right? And the second one are going to be lip syncs and expressions there. So I'm going to give you guys the voiceovers, and then you're going to use that reference, okay, or those voiceovers to animate according to the voice there, okay, in the lip sync itself. Okay, it's quite simple basically, right? Okay, the stage there, you just have to remember the phrase of A-E-I-O-U there, okay, kind of what we call that expressions there on the lip syncs. So if you take a look here right now, right, if you really understand the whole position of your form from your characters, process of developing basically the 360 degrees kind of model turnarounds are going to be easy there, right? There. This is basically the basic understanding lah. If you create a different kind of form of characters, for example, like the shapes of the characters are going to be a bit more different there, right? For example, like this one there, right? Right. So basically, from this one, these kind of positions, of course lah, they're going to be a bit different there. So this is basically the challenge kind of process as a designer there, right? That's why the fundamental kind of understandings is really important here. When I actually ask you guys to draw a lot and also improve or develop basically your kind of understanding and fundamental kind of motions there, okay, of learning experience, this is basically the part of it. This part I'm going to, because this is it's a back view there, right? You have a curved line. Try to change a bit. So we have to work smart a bit, right? Okay, from here. And of course, whatever that we actually write been, let's see the difference there. Right. So this side basically has to be the oval there, okay? But we can actually use gradient there, okay? This one you can use gradient there if you want to, right? It's more better to use gradients to blend it up, right? Okay. This is a very simple kind of what we call that understanding on developing the 360 turn around kind of motions for your characters there, right? Of course, from this side, right, from here, from back view to this side there, okay, we can do another kind of in between there, okay, 3/4 side view from the back side there, okay, back view there, okay, of the turnaround character's head, okay, it can be also, right? So it's quite interesting, right? But I, right, as I told you guys before, I learned from the hard way there, okay, because no, there's a limited kind of resources that we have before that, right? Okay, but it's all worth it, right? It's all worth it there because one of the main kind of challenging that I have when I was working with this kind of process of working there, okay, as a designer before, because I have to work with the 3D kind of uh, department there, okay. That means most of my kind of colleagues were based from the 3D based kind of what we call that platform there, okay, or technical kind of people there. So when we actually one of the main kind of guy who actually have to in charge to design all the characters for the 3D peoples there. Their kind of point of view is quite different than us there, right? Okay, because in 2D normally we can skip and also avoid some of the technical kind of what we call that visuals there, right? Okay, or to make believe on the shapes on the form itself, there, okay. But when it comes to 3D peoples, everything has to be accurate there, right? They don't know how to cheat. Basically, in 3D also we can cheat some of the um, some of the process of model making. For example, if you take a look at Mickey Mouse, okay, Mickey Mouse there, right? Mickey Mouse basically, right? Okay, when they design in 2D, they have a certain kind of styles and concept they want to remain there, okay, right? A lot of people doesn't notice this one there, okay, Mickey Mouse there, right? Mickey Mouse character there, right? Design. Okay, 2D to 3D. You can see it from here. I don't know, right, whether we have. All right, if you take a look at original kind of characters, okay, this one there, right? Okay, this is character. This is the one of the tracing kind of what we call that line, lah. But if you take a look closely there again, this is the front view there, right? But when it comes to 3/4 view and side profile, how come basically the ears are going to be still in the remain positions? In 3D, this kind of positions won't be happening, right? But this is the okay. This is the original kind of drawings there, right? I think run right 1937 or 57, right? 57 in it. Okay. If you take a look there, okay, this Mickey Mouse kind of design. Even though this design were basically based on the professional kind of developments there, okay. This is all the gurus or Thai there, okay. People actually before us actually have designed that, okay. This is one of the pioneers there. Okay, when they design the characters, why actually they don't design the ears a little bit more like this side there, right? Because they're going to be look a little bit kind not the aesthetical value is not there, right? It's not there, okay. So when they actually animate or design these characters back again in 3D, if you have watched some of the animated kind of 3D from Disney Playhouse, I used to watch them, okay, because I want to, what we call that, I want just want to study basically on the motions and the storyline itself, right? When I actually look back again at that Mickey Mouse style there, okay, let me check whether we have, okay, Disney Mickey Mouse there, right? Playhouse, Clubhouse there, 3D there, right? You check, look how actually trick, they use the trick there, okay, to design basically the shapes of the mouse of these characters in 3D, okay? They change basically the head there, okay? It's just like using, right, basically a claymation kind of style there. You can see the Minnie Mouse there, right? See the sub profiles there? In 3D, basically, it won't happen like that, right? If you design in 3D, right, okay, for examples, right, okay, this is a Mickey Mouse style, okay, this is the side profiles. Let me check that, right? Hmm. Okay, this is basically side profiles there, right? If the ears are going to be in this position, right? Supposed to be like this, right? This is the position there. But if they actually design something like this, they're going to look a bit more like a fox, there, right? People recognize, but they, instead of doing like that, they design like this. They're making mouse shapes there. Front view, basically, look like this one there, right? In 3D, what kind of shape is this? This is not, they're going to be look like this lah, from side profile, supposed to be. But they don't actually design like this. They design shape by diagonal there, right? Okay, to design the shapes there, right? To make it aesthetical value going to be look more appealing there. See that, right? But this is happens to me lah when I actually want to design a 2D characters that look quite presentable for the projects, but when it comes to 3D people, sometimes they have all these kind of, for them basically a restrictions. But for me as a designers, because uh, when I actually have understand the fundamental of animations there itself, not 2D, not 3D, animation itself, okay, I would say the tools that we use is only the tools there. It's only basically a tools there that provide us to develop any kind of options that we want to plan out our characters and our design there, okay? But for 3D people at that time, we're talking about earlier 2000 there, okay? They came, most of them basically came not from the creative kind of what we call that content like graphic design or animations kind of uh, foundations there. They came, most of them that I actually have been experienced before, they came from architectures, they came from industrial design, engineering there. And one of my brothers, basically, right, a good friend of mine also, uh, he's actually came from business there, right? Okay, kind of background there, but he jumped into music and also animations there, right? In those 90s, there, late 90s until 2000, until now. So when I want to face with all these kind of people, it's quite difficult there. Quite difficult there to confess, to present, right? Uh, to make them see what actually our artistical kind of understanding can bring into the projects there. It's quite difficult there, but I've learned so much from that, right? Even though I'm still learning, but I'm learn also from that experience that how to overcome them back. That's why fundamental kind of understanding is really important. And when you actually guys have learned about 3D animations or 3D modeling there, okay, learn also the concept of it. You don't have to be professionals there. You don't have to be solid kind of good to handling the tools there. But if you really understand the concept of doing that kind of tools there, right? Okay, using that kind of tools there, you know basically the restriction, and you know basically the advantages how to use them, and you can apply them back, okay, into your works there, right? Okay, it will help you to develop more on your kind of what we call that understanding and explanations to them. Okay, sometimes I don't have to explain, I just show them. Okay, see me at Mickey Mouse there, how actually they design his characters there, right? They do a few kind of, for some of the uh, people thought that, okay, they do a lot of works lah, but basically everything is computers there, right? You want to have a very good result, you have to do more kind of works, right? You cannot actually assume you want to do this kind of very good quality kind of animations, you do less work there. It won't happen, right? But the good things, everything in computers there. Take a look at some of the model making in, for example, like Nightmare Before Christmas there, okay, the claymations there. They using this method, basically they're using the same methods like claymations there, right? Claymations model making there, right? They use the same method. When they actually turn over the side profiles or three-quarter view, they basically change the model. Either they change models or they actually call out basically the files of the head itself there. They mix together there, okay, with this kind of body there, okay. They use different head to combine with the same body. Okay, when it comes to use this kind of methods. So animators has to do a little bit kind of adjustment on the motion itself there, okay, when they animate them. This is what my theory is there, okay. Because when it comes to claymations, they use the same methods there. They want to animate sub-profile or three-quarter, they just change the head there, okay. They have a few hundred number kind of heads there, right, just to animate them. But this kind of what we call that techniques or methods will actually use to the specific or certain kind of characters only. Like I think like Daffy Ducks, it won't happen there, right? Because Daffy Ducks is very straightforward kind of model kind of animations. Even though Goofy there, right? Okay, right. You can see the difference lah, right? Okay, but Mickey Mouse and Minnie Mouse is a very, you know, special or specific kind of different kind of way of animate them, because they want to maintain the values that the aesthetical value there, right? So animators or the creative directions have to be a bit more what we call that smart lah, to handle this kind of characters. Look simple there, okay, look like nothing happens from there, but mechanical wise, this is the part of it that we have to uh, what we call that take care as animators there, or as a designer itself, okay, because whatever that we design, there's a purpose of it, right? Okay, because we want to make sure that the look and feel of the characters are going to be remain, right? Like for example, like I might actually have shown you guys before, like okay, claymation first, okay, model making there, okay. You can see right, okay, these claymation animations there, they have a number kind of models there, right? They actually create there, okay, in order to make the characters look more smoother there, okay. So I think I can actually share you guys also these videos there, just to, if you really want to take a look later on, right? It's a very good kind of examples there, right? Okay. So for me there, okay, for my kind of what we call experience that I actually have used before, right? Don't just limit yourself to learn about 2D animations only there, okay? Because nowadays there's a lot of resources that you guys can actually add on more on your value and understanding there, right? To learn and also to watch, right, in other kind of discipline of animations there, right? But the fundamental of using those principles still the same, right? To make it the motions look more better there, okay? right? The only difference is only the physical kind of platform that we use there, okay? Either claymations, stop motions animations, 3D animations, they're going to using the same kind of methods there. But 3D is more technical wise there, okay? Technicals there. If you guys experienced with 3D before, I would say, right, learn about 3D animations or 3D applications is a bit more complicated and complex, right? In order to create those kind of motion itself there, right? Okay, because it's just like you open up one window, for example, like this, right? You want to do one simple task, you have to open up another windows there. There's a few small windows that you're going to, what we call it, open up, just to do one singular kind of process there, right? But when I actually have experience before learning and working with the 3D animations, right? I also create some a few number kind of simple kind of motion that we can create from there, right? So, but they still have a few kind of technical kind of issues or process that we have to go through also, right? A bit kind of challenging more than the, not like a straightforward kind of motions like this one, right? That's why when I actually animate my characters and also teach students the beginning on how actually they can animate the characters, I try to make as simple as it can be directly, just to what we call it execute the task there. But you have to do more from there because what the way that I've learned also the same thing, right? Unless there's few number kind of what we call the productions, they have a number kind of fold, kind of what we call that layers there. Okay, they separate them before they want to animate every single part of the characters there. Right, it works basically, but for me, for as an independent kind of animators, don't try this one first, right? Because you're going to have a lot of confusions later on, okay? When it comes to animate a very simple kind of motion for your characters there. It's all about the skill set itself there, right? Okay, to works. And also the sensitivity of the motion itself there, right? So that's about the characters kind of developments here, right? Which is when we design something correctly, yes, the most simplest kind of what we call that, the most simplest kind of practice is doesn't mean easy for us to handle that. But depending on how people going to be works on that. Okay. Yeah. Right. Like this one there, right? You want to animate this one? Yeah. Okay. This one, the hands should be moved around here a bit. Oops. Okay. Put them up and change their positions. Then goes to this one. Center back and move. So make sure the position is right there, right? See? You can see there, right? Sub profiles. Either you can use this one, but this one, the left, the leg also doesn't look right. Okay, some right. Most of the time, basically, right, okay, if I want to draw them, okay, let me say put this one first. Pop with this one. Paste right here. Make sure the alignments, the position is the same. All right. Okay. But this side basically, okay, groups. This one, the leg, there, right. A lot of people also have this kind of struggles there to draw legs from front side there. This is one of it. Using these kind of shapes, right? Like half of the circles there. It can be. It can be there, right? modify, flip horizontals, and move there. Okay. They change there, right? There's a lot of things we can do from here, right? Okay. So depending on how actually you're going to work on that. This one, copy a bit, paste right here first, decide the positions. Okay, see the difference there right now? It can be there. Okay, sometimes we don't have to draw the whole thing. Right. But this part basically, right, simple there, right? Just copy this, both of them. Copy, group, put right here, paste, there, there, right. Mm. This side, so it will just rotate them back. This one, just flip the right. See, you see the motion set the right. This simple kind of analogies on the work with the 360 degrees there. But the more complex of your design, the more challenges that you're going to face there. That's why for the first beginning right, of working with animations, I would suggest for you to work with a very simple kind of characters that doesn't have any restrictions on the secondary kind of elements like accessories there for a while, okay? Because you just want to learn about understanding how the whole kind of compositions, the arrangements, the proportions work first, right? Okay? And then if you have time, then you actually can do more from there, right? Because my kind of first animation are not first animation that my first project that I did there, okay? Previously, okay, this is can actually check back again, right? What I here explain how actually the process of creating a claymations there, right? This is one of the what we call that some of the process of creating basically the visual stories there, right? Okay, what we call that story breakdown, right? Okay, storyboard kind of breaks down that actually have been discussed, right? Okay, it's very critical and also very tedious, kind of what we call that process there, right? Okay, not that kind of simple there, okay. So there's a lot of works at the same time there, right? Okay, to work with. So that's why if you can watch more and more on the videos there, okay, just to enjoy yourself to gain more understanding on creating those kind of what we call that styles of animations there or learning experience there, okay, before they act basically on the characters there. This is the acting there, okay. The acting all these kind of motions before they animate them. So animators have to do this kind of works there. Right? We are not actually born actors there, but we have to act for our characters just to give more impact on our motion itself there, right? Okay. All these kind of things is really important as animators there. Don't just what we call the apply whatever that you have in your head without having enough kind of information. Okay. Those are the things there, okay? So those are the things basically we can actually develop from there. All right. So those are the thing there. Right. So there's a lot of work basically animations there, okay? But it demanding on the quality and also the production itself, lah, right? Okay. Depending there. So some of you guys love the hard what we call it, the toys itself, right? Okay, the action kind of toys, okay? They create the toys for animation itself directly. These are the things. Very interesting kind of work. I've learned also I have more interested in animations because of the Nightmare Before Christmas Tim Burton kind of animations directly. Even though I love animations before, but the things, the kickstart of of how actually I get involved in animations is because of the stop motion. And even though I'm not doing the stop motion animations, but the experience, the learning curve experience that I have learned by myself at that time make me want to explore more on the animation itself. Right. So those are the things that I do for my basis, kind of what we call that routine there. Okay, to learn something new. Right. This is from Gumby there. Okay, one of my favorite animations before. So this is what we call stop motions there. Okay, using paper cut, right? Paper kind of crumpling also can be done as a part of animation subjects there. Okay, right. So using any kind of what we call the elements there, right? You can use that to work there. I when I don't have that what we call that privilege to have the phones before there, okay? I used to work with what we call that a photostat machine, right? I'm using photostat machine basically to animate some of the works there, right? I just want to share with you guys here just to give you guys more understanding what base you guys can explore on animation itself. Okay, there's a lot of things that we can explore from there. I think you guys have seen before there, right? Some of the previous kind of work that I've done there, actually. But this is the thing that I had done previously when I was study there, right? And also working at the same times. Where is it? Uh, I don't know where is it, right? Is it from here? It's not. This is my final year project. Mm. Right. This is the one they actually create also that based on both kind of mediums. Okay, I'm using a big kind of roto stop motions. I draw back again my hands. So I animate some of the elements using different kind of tools there. Okay, so mix them up there. Okay, mix them up together. Okay, with the motion itself there. Right. So using collage a little bit there. Right, rotoscoping there. Right. Okay, photographics kind of motions there. Right, combined with some of the 3D elements, right, with 2D elements at the same time. Right. So mix them up, right? Okay? If you have, you understand, right, okay, how to use the applications, right? Any application like Photoshop, right? Okay? Mix them up with your techniques that you can use, right? Okay? Using After Effects, 2D animation, Flash, right? Okay? To work also with your materials there, right? Okay? To present your materials there to give more effective kind of way that you work there. Right? So that's kind of thing basically that I actually experiment on my own there, right? Okay, to do the works for the clients here. So very simple kind of motions or animations that I did before. Right. Where is it? This one is not that one, right? So there's a lot of right there that I actually have shared before. Hmm. Right about Mickey Mouse, right? Okay. So hopefully you guys have noticed, right? Okay, how actually people design the characters here. Right. It looks quite way, if you check out about the Mickey Mouse kind of design, kind of shapes, it's all came from the basic structures there, right? Using the circle, sphere, ovals, kind of shapes that before they design. right? Those characters here, okay? That's why understanding the basic structures is really important whenever that you want to design any complicated kind of characters there, okay? So learn all this kind of curve understanding there. This is some of the works that you guys can share later on. You get the videos that you can share later on. Okay, the techniques there, the the materials there, right? The tools that they use to work here. I have one also animation that I want to show you guys directly from Bray there, right? Bray animations. This guy basically using a cell, plastic cell animated there, okay, and combined with combined with the live actions that videos there. I don't know where I have theater right now. So this is some of my kind of reference there in terms of what we call that. Do my own research, okay, to work to learn different kind of methods and techniques in animation itself. There, I don't know where I have right here. So there's augmented realities here. It's also a good example of using post-to-post animations, animators, but he used iPhone and also cell, plastic cell animated kind of characters there to compose with the motion itself there, right? Very interesting kind of style there of animations there in terms of the motions itself. Right? So he's using his iPhones, so he record frame by frame there, right? Yeah. And then he edit back again there, right? Yeah. Very, very interesting kind of projects there, right? But basically, we actually you can use also Adobe Animate to work on this kind of motions there, right? But what I actually want to show you guys, basically the unique kind of way that he approached, okay, in order to execute the animations kind of works. Using combination with stop motion, cell animated kind of animations, post to post, and 2D animation at the same times, right? With mixed up with the live actions there. Okay? It doesn't have also any kind of obligations to to erase or to touch up basically, right? Okay? The hand itself, right? Okay? Because you leave it there. Right? Okay? Just want to give people a bit more kind of raw, rough kind of feelings there, okay, on the animation itself there. Okay. So remember, okay, when I say entertainment has to, animation has to be entertaining, so those are the things that we can explore there later on, okay? Especially on your creation, on your projects there, right? Right? So we take a look there here. Yeah, Tanya actually experiment the walk cycle basically use classic motion twin, right, Tanya?
Sorry, what?
You don't actually use in frame the walk cycles, right? When you move the character from point A to point B, you're using the motion twin, right?
Yeah, the one that you taught us.
Okay. Good. Don't draw frame by frame, huh? Right. Then you're going to kill yourself from there. Right. Let's take a look at jump cycles here. How it goes. All right, good. Just change the position of the head, okay, Tanya, into 3/4 view. Okay.
Okay.
Let's take a look at forest that kind of works there. The background that you create there, okay, do you sketch it out first,
Me, sir?
Tanya? Forest? Yeah, both. Do you sketch it out first there, okay?
I didn't sketch it out. I just I just did it straight away.
Yeah, same.
Just direct from your,
Yeah, from anime.
okay. Well, this is the basic kind of motion there, Faris, right? You just rotating
Yeah,
there, right?
yeah.
Right, the background, do you satisfied with it there, Faris?
I think I'll add more to it because it's a bit simple, but yeah.
Yeah, right. Okay, if you can sketch it out first, okay, according to the compositions there, right? Okay, to the layout itself, there, okay, original. Then you just refine them, there, okay.
Yeah.
Okay?
Okay.
You just can refine them.
Yeah.
Okay. See what you can go from there, okay? Because for me, right, okay, if I present the work there, okay, if I see these characters quite solid there, okay, quite solid, quite very fine kind of tune, okay, that have made, if I actually use a very simple background like this, I not satisfied for my own work, right? That's
Yeah.
why if I check look this kind of presentations, if you feel that you want to change later on, just replace them or refine them back there, right? Okay, but this one doesn't have to be returned back again to you. There, okay, you just add on another kind of background that maybe.
Yeah. Okay.
Okay, right. Jump cycle doesn't actually work lah. Haven't done yet.
Not yet. I will work on it soon.
Okay. From here, okay, basically you don't actually draw a lot there, okay. You just reuse back again the parts of the characters, right?
Yeah, but I have to edit some of the lines a bit. Yeah.
On the line there, right? Is it difficult for you to work with that kind of process
It was a bit difficult, but I think
using the mouse?
yeah, it's a bit hard using a mouse, but
Manage, hard, right?
yeah, but I'm still learning how to
It's
use it.
okay. If you learn from the hard way, if you learn the hard way, basically, okay, in the futures they will benefit you to be more patient there on the works,
Yeah.
right? Okay, you kind of characters from side profiles there. Okay, you backgrounds, right? Okay, refine a little bit there, right? If you can
It's like
avoid using outline, is more benefit there, okay? Or maybe the outline, if you can actually change into
Thinner,
dark
right?
green color. This one a little bit more dark brown, right? Thinner, right? Okay, to give more kind of harmonize on your the whole presentations. You can actually add a bit kind of clouds, okay, based on your design over here. Just want to add a
Yeah.
bit more silhouette on the buildings, maybe if you want
Yeah.
to give a
It's
bit
just
more
like
kind
a
of
test.
more impact on the presentations, lah. Right?
Got it.
Okay, good. How long does it take there? A few minutes only, right, to animate this one?
No, I'm not really. I mean,
but
I feel like the
but
arms could be better
this
in terms of
but
like the motion.
mm,
Hmm.
mm.
But
How about if you animate these characters into a bit three-quarter positions?
3/4 position
Just
can lah, should be
uh,
fine lah.
it will find a bit more challenging, but you will learn a bit more from there, right?
Yeah.
Mm. And also the presentation of the characters is more appealing when we actually move in three-quarter position, but in a side profile kind of motions there. It will be more presentable. So that's why for some of the reasons I didn't use basically uh, side position for that characters itself, okay, when I show you guys, because I want to give a little bit more kind of impact on the presentation, because we work with a very simple character. Sometimes people looks the things is not quite impact for their point of view of watching there, okay, normally for the viewers there. So to give a bit more kind of engagement on our characters to the audience, that's why the character has to face a little bit three-quarter views there. That's basically a film language, basically came from the cinematography kind of point of view lah, right? Because when people look at sub profile, sometimes the character doesn't have a lot of engagement, only if they want to have some interaction with other characters there. Sometimes if you want to engage the audience to, for example, to work basically with to engage or to the audience itself in the storytellings, we're not going to use sub. We have to use over the shoulder kind of positions there. So when the character is going to talk to other characters there, for example, they're right, they will look into this kind of positions there, right? Okay, over the shoulder kind of positions there, right? Okay, so really happens, okay, for engagements only within these two characters only there, right? Okay, but if you change to this side, right, even though this one is what we call it is face back on the viewers itself, there, right? Okay, but it still can engage because one of the characters still actually right face the audience itself. Like that's why this is a more effective way to have the conversations rather than this one there. Okay, this one is a bit more like an indie comic kind of styles there. A lot of comic actually use them, right? Okay? So when it comes to film language or add your kind of value on your cinematographies, okay, so you have to change, okay, you have to play a very smart way to position basically your characters there, okay. Most of the times when this come to engage with the characters too, this is the right positions, and then we want to change, okay, these characters here, right, this is the character number 1 2 right, so the engagements are going to be just flip basically the positions there, okay, to give a little bit more kind of impacts there on the scene itself there, right. So that's why the what we call the positions, the replacements, the staging of your character, right, really important there, okay, when you actually develop the story for your anime. I believe you guys will learn more from Mr. Martin kind of classes, right? So hopefully can actually develop and combine whatever that you guys learn from animation classes right now with Mr. Martin kind of classes, because I already talked to Mr. Martin before. Last semesters when they actually designed one project there, right, okay? Uh, when Mr. Martin saw what I did in my previous kind of classes, he looked basically our presentation even only in 1 minute only there, okay? Only a 15 seconds or 30 seconds, right? Okay, look more interesting than the 1 or 2 minutes kind of presentation that he did for his class there, okay? Because the storyline is a little bit more mellow, and there is no enough kind of engagement on the characters with the audience itself there, okay? You look a bit more boring lah, right? Okay, the words that I always use is boring there, okay? There is a bit kind of what we call that lagging, right? Okay, people have to wait for the story to finish there, and sometimes you're going to drag a lot of your works from the 1 minute of animation. Is not that easy, you know, because they you have to develop a few number kind of scenes there. The best kind of treatment that you can use in every single kind of timing of your motions there, okay, in every single scene, okay. For example, we have this is 1 second, this is the first scene, for example, the second scene there, okay, this is third scene there, okay. How much time that you spend from here, okay, my kind of advice there, okay, you don't spend more than 3 minutes 3 seconds there. 2 seconds is more than enough for each scene there. 1 second, this one maybe another 2 seconds there, so you have 5 seconds in 3 scenes there, right? So people will give more kind of attention on your story there. Take a look at the animations from the samples of here, okay. This is from Jonathan, right? Okay, so nice kind of detail, but right, if you actually can play different kind of colors, right, from this one there, right? Okay, Jonathan, I don't know how actually you create that. You actually draw the whole thing and then you color them up there, right? So it's good, okay, to try that. This is
Thank
the
you, sir.
first time that you work there. Or you also add also the secondary kind of what we call the effects on the fire there, right?
Yeah.
Right. So it's a good experiment there, right? Right? Because yeah, if you explore more from here, it's good there, okay? So if you give more, basically, it's a good kind of here. Because animations you have to do more from here there, okay? If you give more extra kind of efforts, for me, it's a very good start there. Because it shows basically your kind of interest on developing also your characters at the same time, okay? But as usual, if you can animate these characters in 3/4 view from side profile positions, that kind of motions is more better there, right? So
Okay.
this one is look more like a games lah. Normally game kind of animations like this.
Yeah.
Right? But I believe some of the game also nowadays they use 3/4 positions that works. Okay, for side profile kind of motions there. Okay. What I want to show you guys just now. All right. Yes, the animations there. Okay, you see. Okay, let's watch some of the animations like. Even though Pixar animations. Any Pixar animation that we can actually study. Okay, this is 3D animations, right? Take a look at some of the animations here. Okay, this one, lift there. Okay, try to watch, right, every single shots that are seen there. Okay, how many seconds that they involved from there? This is basically opening segment there, right? There's around 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, right? For the opening segment, 12, 13, right? Camera panning to show the locations around 10 seconds or 15 seconds sometimes. All right, right. To establish the scenes also, it took around how many? Around more than 5 seconds. Okay, 1, 2, 3, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 1, 2, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 1, 2, 3, 1, 2, 3, 1, 4, 5, 6. Because there's a lot of motions from there, right? To show the established shot over here, take a look, okay? We show the scenes over here, 1, 2, 1, 2, 3, 4, 1, 2, 3, 1, 2. See how many seconds there, okay? 1, 2, 3, almost 3 seconds only there, okay? 3 seconds there, okay? Maximum for some of the motions there. But this one using 3D, it's not using 2D there, okay? But they still actually, right, try to manage every single shot, okay, who doesn't have a lot of motion. For sometimes, okay, a very important motions, okay, not more than 5 seconds there. Camera planning, establish shot, the locations there, the surrounding, yes. Sometimes we take 10 to 15 to 20 seconds there because we want to show some of the environments, the location itself, okay? So those are the things that we will tell the audience where basically the location is going to be. But most of the motions, right, they will take not more than 3 seconds, right? To show also the point of view that, okay, 1, 2, 3, 4, 1, 2, 1, 2, 1, 2, 1, 2, 3, 1, 2, 1, 2 seconds there, right? Okay, most 2 seconds or 3 seconds there. That's how you study basically the shots and the scene at the same time, right? What I saw from what most of the students actually have done, okay, they spend 5, 6, 7 seconds sometimes to show one scene there, okay? They will lose a lot of attention there. People will lose a lot of attention from there. They will try to avoid and skip, right, your kind of presentation there normally, right? Because this is not drama, okay? If you watch Korean drama, okay, they have a different kind of treatment there. Because when I watch Korean drama, one of the things that I will stick to the scenes because of the actress. Those are the normal thing, right? Maybe girls because of the actors there. And in terms of that, there's a dialogue, there's an expression, there's a number kind of what we call the impressions there, emotion that they felt from that scene there, right? So that's why live actions and animations are going to be a bit different. Even though in animation nowadays we try to make believe that the characters look alive there, but we still try to manage and try to simplify the timing there in order to show the motion at the same time. Okay, so when it comes to when you create your own storyboard later on for Mr. Martin kind of subject there, okay, even though for ours kind of projects later on, okay, for our final, okay, try to manage to develop a very short kind of timings, but have a very good impact on the motions there. Those are the things that we need to be to make it more interesting for what we call that to make it more interesting. At the same time, we can actually manage well our working structures and flows there, right? Okay, we not make our job more difficult. When you talk about animations, of course, framing there, but I already show you guys also how to extend the frames there, right? Okay, to not to cheat, but those are the techniques there for us to make sure that we don't have to draw a lot of the motions, right? Okay, from 1 second animation there, right? Okay? We extend and also we plan 5 seconds or 5 frames per motions there. Then we can add another in between to make it more smoother there, right? Okay. The same goes when you come to jump cycles that you have done before, right? Jump cycles there, right? So when you watch cycle kind of motions, right? We not actually do a lot. We just reuse and we just add in another in betweens only there. Once we actually establish that, right? So that's how actually we plan that, right? Okay. unless the fighting scenes is different lah, in different kind of angle and shots there, okay? So those kind of things a bit kind of different kind of treatment there, okay? That's why when you watch Naruto, okay, normally they have a number kind of killer scenes there, but most of the times they talk a lot and they show basically the audience all the beautiful kind of illustrative kind of visuals there that make us want to watch more and more, right? On every single stories there, okay? Those are the things there, okay? That people play tricks on the visual itself there. But Japanese normally, okay, they know how to give a very beautiful enough visual narrative for the audience there. Basically, the illustrations look nice. So they play a very minimal kind of effects on the motions there. Right? So most of the motions basically right now is a repeat kind of motions. Okay? The head and also the body is different there. Right? Maybe this is a bit kind of killer scenes there, right? Okay, the motions there. But this one, camera panning, right? A bit kind of motion for the body there, right? And the eye blinks there, okay? Most of it is a panning there, camera panning there, okay? But the line works, the illustrations, the character design treatments, it look nice there, look appealing there, okay? Shadow also very less shadows. So when you watch the animations right now, please watch also the technical kind of what we call that treatment there, right? Okay, so most of it is panning there, camera panning there. Right? If you look right now, right? I don't know whether this is the original version though, or maybe from the fan animations there. That's why the proportion is not right. See, the proportion is not right there. Fan animations, right? But it still look presentable, huh? Okay, that's why it look different there. Okay, look quite weird there. Okay, the drawings there, but still look nice there. This is a fan animations, like amateur kind of animation, but still look nice there. Still look presentable there, right? If you watch a Naruto movie, I think let's watch some of the. Okay, this is the original one there, right? The line was also different there. They draw first and then redraw back again, and they clean up the line there, right? You know that, okay? Most of the animators or most of the cleanup artists, okay, for Naruto is a woman there, right? At every single scene there, okay? The same treatment there, okay? Less motions there for most of the scenes there. Less motions, but the whole treatment of the visuals is very nice there, okay? Very beautiful there, okay? So we actually been mesmerized with the visual itself. All right, and the story and the dialogues there, okay? Nothing much to do with the motions there. Panning motions there, right? Okay? Okay. Close-ups and camera panning there, okay? From one position to another positions there, right? Okay? This one, it's all right. No animations here. After this kind of scenes there, right? To here, how many seconds there? 1, 2, right? 2 seconds, no motions, but the visuals there give a lot of impact. A lot of impact, right, to the audience there, right? Right. How many scenes, how many seconds they have there, right? This one a bit kind of hard lah, right? Because they rotate the characters there manually there, right? Most of it there, right? See? All visual effects there, right? Okay? Visual effects there. zoom in, zoom out, fast zoom in, there, right? Okay, all this kind of motion. But what are the things that give impact on the visuals is the illustrations there. That's why when we design the characters, always have this kind of understanding. That's why if you told me, if you ask me, okay, spend too much time in characters, this is part of it. Because to give people kind of impact on the visual first before we animate them. Okay, but sometimes if you're not right, we're also going to be boring, right? Because one of the visuals, one of the project I have done before, right? The whole animations for me is boring there. Okay, most people who actually watch these animations, these pilot projects, they fall asleep, right? But that's basically, remember what I said before, right? I actually have done one of the pilot projects that have we actually only have around 40K there, like, at the time, okay, to work in around 3 or 4 months, okay, for 5 people actually the productions works there, right? So this basically is one of the projects that I did earlier there, okay, uh, using Adobe Flash of the effects. And also I remember when we redesigned the characters, right? I have one of my character designers, right, who actually create all this kind of drawing back again from my sketches in AI and animate them in Adobe. So we use 3 different kind of platforms to complete these characters there. And also another things that we add actually is the illusions kind of effects. Right. The quality is not that good because I actually transfer from the VHS there, right? But the visual itself, okay, I mix them up there, okay. So I'm sorry because the visual is not that quite clear. But this is very limited kind of animations there. But I try to come up with a very good kind of visuals there to give more kind of impacts on the visuals itself, right? But it's very tricks, right? Okay? A lot of tricks there. Use a little bit kind of motion graphics. We play with some of the effects on the motions over there, right? So less animated, but the presentations that we actually focus. But the project doesn't turn out real kind of investment because of the management itself, right? I have basically to blame the management there. Most of the productions that fail, from my experience, not came from the artists, not came from the creative people there. It came from the management. So it's good for you guys to learn a bit kind of management, right? Kind of projects, kind of dealing directly in your student kind of what we call that years here there, right? Because if you have that kind of knowledge there, hopefully you guys can overcome back again and also take over basically the projects kind of works later on, right? Because most of the project that fail, from my experience, I have done a number kind of what we call the project that failed there. Not because of the production teams, but the management teams. Yeah. Because they don't know how to sell, they don't know how to manage, right? Again, also to extend basically the projects, even though there has a lot of potential at that time there, right? Because they don't have any heart there, okay? People who want to manage the projects, they need to have heart there, okay? They need to have that heart there, okay, to work, okay, with the project itself. They have to be into the project there. They have to be the part of the projects there, okay? That's how actually they can manage them, right? So I have a few number kind of projects there. One of the last projects that I did in 3D animations is this one there, right? It look a little bit kind of like lava there, okay? But this is not my original ideas, but the project basically based from one of the creators there, but I just recreate them back for them, right? These characters there, ulat ulit there, okay? But when I actually did this kind of research, I never thought there is a lava, okay? When I actually have designed the whole finalized design for these characters, suddenly there, okay? Lava came out directly. I think the original creators have get the ideas from Lava. I'm just actually recreate them back, right? I create from the design, right, the environment itself, and I have a team of 3D people actually remodel them back, and the animation direction also I've been giving them some of the input directly to give it more kind of snappy kind of feeling for this design there, right? So this is one of the last 3D animations projects that I did basically okay, for what for the team itself there, right? So we have a few number kind of people actually be in this kind of project there, but they don't actually succeed. Same thing because of the management, because I don't have the last kind of decisions there. I cannot make the final decisions okay, to launch the project itself there. Right? But I actually have a strong kind of saying on this project there, right? Okay. But of course, okay, the last decision always be the project owners there to work on that. So this is the part of the challenges sometimes, okay, when you actually work with the productions here, right? If people paid you because of your skills, right, but you don't have the what we call that the final saying there, okay, to drag the projects into the final stage there. Even though the TV stations at that times want to buy this content, so the decision makers afraid to make a move there. For me, I will actually break all the rules that I can, right, in order to succeed with the projects. If I can say something, if I can actually bring over to the projects itself, okay, to the TV stations there. At that time, it was RTM, there, right? We have present this work to RTM, there, right? But the project owners basically doesn't have a guts to move on from there. Even though we will make a small amount of money in every each kind of episode there, okay? For me, we can we can actually survive if we can get a deal that we want to have around 2 seasons for every titles there are 2 seasons there two seasons. I think around 24 episodes there, right? Okay, 24 episodes there, right? So yeah, that's it there, right? It's basically a challenging kind of what we call that working kind of what we call that experience there, right? Okay, but the good thing because they paid me, right, okay, to do all this kind of stuff there, right? But my kind of what we call that uh, objective, okay, on create the projects because I want to make sure that these projects were on air there, right? So no matter how much money they pay, if the projects doesn't succeed to the to the to the right kind of platform there, okay, we cannot make money out of it. There's no point. For me, right, we have to make money there from here. There's a lot of potentials, but people who actually manage really afraid to move on from there, right? We did a lot of very good kind of experimental with the team itself directly to create all this kind of experiment kind of moves. This is not a final product there, but I, me and my team basically at the times, okay, basically have experiment any kind of possibility that we can use, we can do for these characters there, right? In our local kind of scenes there. Right? So if you watch Lava, it's more than that, right? Okay, they actually have go beyond, right? Okay, uh, all this kind of process there. Right? So this is what basically I actually have experiment and also study with my team because when we actually have a few number kind of people in the groups there, okay, they say, oh, if these characters doesn't have any leg, how actually they want to do all this kind of extreme kind of what we call that motions there, actions there, okay. So I proved to the teams directly that this character can do anything they want. We have to twist our mind there when it comes to cartoon or animations. The reality that we have outside, we can bring over to animations there. But we can do anything that we want in animations, okay? Because we the one who actually create them. So we can do anything with these characters that we want, right? There is no impossibles there, right? Every impossible thing that we thought we cannot do in reality with these characters, we can do basically, right? Okay. So those are basically our main kind of purpose or actually right to design the characters there. So this is the result there, okay, that we show. I really love this kind of team there. Okay, all people actually in these groups, okay, in this team, okay, from 3D animators, from 3D modelers, okay, and also video editors, have the same kind of directions there. The only things that not actually click with us is the management there. They don't have enough cuts. Right? In productions, basically, you need to have this kind of cuts there, okay? You need to believe, strong belief that everything that you do with the themes, it can be produced there, okay? As long you have the money that can control people at the same times. Right? Money there, right, okay? Budget there, okay? They can control people there. People will work for you because they know that you hold something from them, right? Either you can actually build up the careers with them, or they know that every month they can get all this kind of salaries with you directly. So hold people, for me, hold people with money directly. Money is not everything, but it's the important thing that we need to have there in order to survive, to control, to hold people's their attentions directly. Those are the things directly to survive at the same time. Okay, people want to do this country not only because they love them, okay, but they can know they can bring the food on the tables itself. So those are the realities right, on productions. Right? But there's a lot of good kind of productions nowadays that we can rely on, right? So this is from Alfie there, right? Design his characters here. Very good kind of what we call that explorations, right? From those what we call that reference. Hopefully you guys have the reference there. But I think their hands a little bit kind of weird there, right? But it's a good kind of experiments there. It's a good start there, right? For me, it's a good start there, right? Yeah, there's momentums there. This is test animations there, right? That don't look fine there, right? Doesn't look fine, it's okay. Right, lastly, Wen Jun there, okay? See Wen Jun there kind of works there, right? This is run cycles, huh? A bit weird with the leg itself, right? With the foot itself, but it's okay. Starting point there. You do using it two different kind of layers there, okay, for the foreground and the background itself, right? The styles of the clouds a bit weird there, right? But it's very good experiment here. It works. Basically, okay, when we draw this kind of shapes of the hair there, right? There has a we call secondary motions that we can actually involve from here. Same goes to this one lah. There's a secondary motions there, okay, on the cape itself also at the same time. All right, guys. Okay, for today there, okay, we're talking a lot and show a lot of things there. Hopefully, can actually right give you guys a bit kind of what we call the examples that how to works. So let me save the files there first. PD turn around. Right, when I talk about lip syncs, right, I think some of you guys also have been watched some of the videos, right? Lip sync, right? We talk about A R E I all you kind of what we call that systems there. Okay. For example, want to draw the lip syncs here. A, R. I want to draw the right R there. Okay. This kind of. This is a sept. This is a fang there. Right? For the lips of the characters there. Right? A, E there. Right? How to work with it? E. Right. Both teeth are going to be combined together. For example, also like this also can be done. I, maybe I, a bit more. And right, get the lips, the mouth there. I, right, we can combine, we can mix them out. Okay, you guys actually can browse also from the Googles there. This is my kind of system for the characters there. Okay. O, O, there, right. We put some teeth over there. I can actually add a bit kind of details here. Yeah. Right. Groups. O, U. Maybe a little bit more like this. U. Okay. Change the picture. This is basically my kind of understanding on designing the lip syncs for my kind of characters there. Depending there, okay, then you actually can use them back. For example, like this one, you can actually add a little bit kind of dark kind of what we call that tone from here. Just to give more contrast. And then the fit, the tools are going to be a bit more light there, right? Okay. The lips, the tongue, maybe, right, this is a tongue there, right? So this is going to be the foot there. Double clicks and select that, right? So there. So what I can do, put some lips over here. That's like an E, right? Right. The words basically, okay, when they spell the words, it came from all the ending part of the motion of the lips there, right? Oh, there, right? Break apart. U there, right? Maybe can be changed a bit there if you want to, right? Okay? Exaggerate, or maybe can be extend a bit there, right? Can be stretched a little bit, squashed a little bit there. Right. There's a lot of way basically you guys can actually redesign basically your lip sync, but this is basically the system that we use to, okay, to animate those lip syncs there, right? So what we can do from here, if you want to bring over the voiceovers there, right? What we can do, we import basically into the libraries there, right? The lip sync there, voice. Let's just say I'm using thank you there, okay? Thank there, okay? TANK there, okay? Q is you, right? Thank you there, right? Check the voice. All right, send over your voice over kind of files directly into the libraries. Save the files, and what you can do are add new layers. This is the layer for the characters, right? This is the layers for the lip syncs, kind of, right? This is the characters here, and these are going to be the voice over there, right? What you can do, you just bring over to the stage, like that. And then you can extend them. F5 to extend. How many frame or seconds there? Around 1.8 seconds, right? Okay, around 2 seconds left, right? Okay. We also have the whole positions there, okay? The whole position for every single lip sync there, okay? What we can do here, let's just say I'm using basically this kind of position first. Copy this one, close. I don't want to make you guys mix them up. Oops, not this one there, right? Let's copy this one back again. Right, copy frames, paste right here. Okay. So this one I'm going to put right here. Sorry, there, right? Put it right here. I'm going to position the lips. All right, the lips. Add new layers. So what we can do right here, right, the voice are going to be start in frame number 7. That means hold this position there first. All right, let's just say, oh, the rest positions there. Sorry guys. Right, one of them is right. Oops. It's an extra kind of what we call that. Sorry. Right. It's a rest position for the lips. Before you want to speak it out directly, spell it out there, right? This is the rest positions there. And expressions difference, right? It's a set expressions maybe, right? You can use them if you want to, right? Depending there, right? So this is the one, right, that I'm going to use for the lip sync kind of motions there. So what I can do right here, copy the right, paste. There. Size can be changed. Don't just too naive, right, to use what we call that, the same kind of sizes there to arrange your sizes for your, the volume of your size of the lips there, right? So this is the first kind of positions of the lips until frame number 7 there. Frame number 7. Frame number 7 there. I add fang there, right? Okay, fang there, okay, fang, that means, right, okay, is that they can use 2 different kind of lip syncs there. E and R. Right. Both of them can, okay, you guys can actually check, okay. E, sorry there, right. Copy, paste over here. Only a few frames only that I can use, that will use. Right. Check the size, open up onion skins. Fang, copy, F7, paste right here. Adjust the size a bit. I can actually rotate if I want to, or skew. Take a look there, right? Fang, tang, right. Tang. If it doesn't work from here, I can change, copy and paste. There. Right here. So I can exaggerate a little bit. Okay. Fang. There, right. Fang. Check back again. Fang. And I can change over here. Use. There, right. Okay. Paste over here. Right. I adjust a little bit. The volumes there. Take. All right. Fang. Right. Fang. So if you don't want the E and U, right? Thank you directly. I'm going to use by the E lip syncs there. Put over here. I can use also the same there, right? This one. Yeah, put it over here back again. E. All right. O. Case. And U. Is there right? U. Check back again whether it's right or not. All right. If you can't hear the voice, okay, don't worry, okay. When I record sessions, we can use that, okay? You're right. Thank you. Thank you. Thank you. Right. Thank you. There, right. There. So this is the characters kind of lip syncs there, right? So what else we can do from here to make it the motions a bit more believable there? Of course, we go back into the characters itself there, right? You want to make the positions a bit more believable when they talk there, okay? It doesn't look like a Steve or robot there, right? So what you can do from here, every single motions that you actually can actually work, okay? Fang, rotate a little bit here. But basically, when you actually want to skew or rotate the right, I just say want to rotate, I hit it right. The lips also have to be adjusted a bit. Okay, that's why. Okay, so we do both kind of works there, okay, in two different layers. There, you can use the same layers if you want to combine, right? But I'm using second layers because I want to show you guys the difference, lah, right? And also from this side, if I want to make it a bit more believable there, the hands also can be changed. Normally we can add the motions lah, but I don't want to add the motion first. Hang. Then I'm going to recall that. I can actually select both kind of layers here. Then I can actually stretch, or I can actually squash a little bit, right, to make a bit more believable again on the motions there. This one can rotate a bit, different kind of positions using the arc there, right? Okay, you got change the volumes there, right? Yeah, I just move around basically the body there first, without the leg there, right? And this one basically rotate a bit. Best way you stretch a little bit both of them. Don't forget to change the anchor point there, right? the middle kind of center point there to make a more believable emotions there. This one, right, select both of them and then change. So the hands, I just rotate back again to that position there. See? This side, rotate a bit. And the whole scene basically, right, the whole kind of what we call that body there and the lips, I'm squash a little bit there, right? Right, to give it more kind of impact on the motions there. And of course, from here, because the legs is too static there, right? What I can do, I can actually, right, adjust a little bit there. Right? I can actually, right, skew a little bit there, right? Just to give more kind of motions for the body there, right? The whole thing, right? To make more alive there. Thank you. See? See? So a very simple kind of what we call that motions that can be used to work with the motions, okay? Thank you. All right. Thank you. Right. Thank you. There, right. Okay. You can actually imagine, right? You can actually try to imagine also the motions, right? At the same time, okay, gives some of the value of the soul of these characters, there, okay, when you animate them, okay. Other than basically the lip syncs and also the body kind of postures and also gestures there that we can use there, right? We can also develop the eyes there. What I can do from here, I can blink the eyes there, right? There, right? There. From here, right? I can actually write because there's a lot of gap, okay, on the frame itself here, there, right? I can actually write here to give a bit kind of, see, time for them to, these characters to blink and also to, spread out the words there, right? At the same time, there, right? Thank you, right? Thank you, right? This is only a few number kind of steps only. You can actually make it more smoother if you want to, okay? But this is basically a step that you guys actually can use. So what I can do a lot from here, okay, because I can write thank you kind of acting kind of motions directly. I can put the hands over here. This hand basically change the pose there, okay? You see, all right, to give more impacts on the motions, right? So this one, basically, I can actually write copy and it's right here. I open up the onion skins. And I can actually write change. See? Yeah. Right. But if you want to make more smoother directly, of course you can actually have to animate the motion itself more. You actually change the of the hands more kind of better directly from here, right? Like this one, for example, there. You can actually rotate the hands there. And of course, you can actually cut this one if you want to, as usual. Rotate, move over here, great. Then put over there, great. Make more believable there, and the more motions there, give more impressions directly on the action itself there, right? Right. So those are the things there, okay? About lip syncs, right? This one basically, right? Cut lip syncs, right? Paste. M, or that can be there, right? Okay. So this is the extra kind of what we call that symbols of what we call that lip syncs that can be used, okay, to have the rest positions there again on your characters there when actually you want to animate the dialogue on there, right? Okay. So I'm going to give you guys, okay, those files I have that you guys can test with, but I want you to choose one only there, right? Okay. Only one voiceover that you guys will use to use, okay, to work with those kind of what we call that lip sync for this week kind of exercise on Friday, right? Okay. Any questions so far? And of course, okay, we save the files not into GIF. We're going to save, export the movie files into QuickTimes or Window AVI there, right? Okay. So this is the one. Okay, week 6 lip sync there. Right, the size are going to be supposed to be in maintain rate process, right? Start video, one click OK there, right? Size supposed to be right. Document size are going to be 1920 1080 there, right? The same size there. Files, we can actually set it up back. All right, guys. Okay, I think that's it there, okay, for this week, right? Kind of letterings combined with our demonstration at the same times. Hopefully, some of the reference, some of the samples, some of the exposure that I share with you guys today will help you to gain more and more kind of understanding how to set your kind of lessons and also improvement on your animations later on there, right? Okay. So I'll leave you guys there. Okay. First, we're going to hold our lesson until Friday. But if you want to test basically your kind of lip syncs kind of animations based on your characters, go ahead. I will share with you guys, okay, in the short times here. And also, please improve a bit kind of your backgrounds there, refine backgrounds. You might going to use them later on also for your submissions there, because our project one submissions are going to be all the work that you have been done for your previous exercise there. So I'm going to combine them because basically it's basically combinations there, right? The final works, the third projects are going to be a little bit kind of timing kind of animations there, okay? We using at least 15 seconds kind of motions and actings, expressions, okay, that based on the same characters there. All right, based on the same characters there, right? Okay. So thank you very much, okay, for your times. Now, I'll see you guys on Friday. If you have any kind of what we call inquiries, just message me there, right? Okay, thank you very much and have a nice day. Okay. Bye-bye.